Welcome to the first module of the course, everybody. It is with great pleasure that I share this module with you. I've been working on this for hours. Okay, so from the home page of the course, you may remember you click the content button, and then clicking the first link inside of the list of contents, and they could all be closed, remember, so you could open them up with plus signs. Open that first one with plus signs. Clicking that first item will take you into sort of content viewer where you have the content map on the left and your stuff on the right. And in this introductory video, I don't normally go in as much depth as I'm going to go in today. I'm going to walk you through what you want to do. The first thing that you're doing right now is watching the video, which will actually end up being link 1A. This video, by the time you're watching this, will be there, and the orientation module welcome and checklist will be 1B. Okay, so what I recommend that you do is whenever you're undertaking a module, and you want to make sure you do everything you're supposed to by the deadline. I recommend that you print the checklist in addition, perhaps, to the course plan. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I know I talked about that in another video, and there's going to be a little overlap, a little redundancy, and I apologize, but sometimes we have to repeat things that are important, and I just need to make sure that you guys know about this stuff. Okay, so in order to print anything that says K-12 texters on it, because these are in my class wiki, which we will sometimes use in this class, it's useful to have a wiki. In order to print anything from this, and this is the module checklist here, what you want to do is go to More Options and then click Print. Actually, what you want to do first for printing the wiki, the easiest way is to do this. Undock. That flies it out into another tab or window, and then go to More Options and Print. And then from here you can do File Print, or you can do Control P, and you can print it wherever you print. Okay? That's how you print it. You can print the checklist, and then I recommend that you just sort of mark out things as you do them. I also recommend that you work in order. It just oftentimes will make more sense that way, though not necessarily. This class less so than my other one. My other one is very much, you must work in order. It very much builds on itself. This one you can hop around a wee bit more. Okay, and I know earlier I talked to you about thinking like a turtle. You want to just collapse everything. What you want to do is collapse everything and slowly open things. So work through a section at a time, and then when you're done, close it. Get it out of your way. Get that mental clutter out, because there's so much clutter already in the learning management system. So I'll go ahead and do that too here as I work through this with you guys. Be sure you read the syllabus. It's right here. It's a Word document. That way you can edit it if you want to. I'll actually probably be adding a few things to it. It's actually, I believe, a rough draft right now, in the sense that it currently says that you cannot turn in a single late assignment, but I have something called an oops drop box that I like to use, which is a second chance that you can have on most any assignment. If you miss submitting something on time, I like for you to have a second chance on at least one assignment. So I'll add that to the syllabus in a few weeks once somebody actually needs it. I'm just trying to unveil this and get it to you guys on time. So the course plan. There's another video that you need to watch about the course plan. It's right here. Why the course plan is so important and how to use it. I want you to watch that so you can see it. But the course plan tells you what module we're in, what's the time period, and then what are the assignments that are due at the end. Now you have to be careful with discussions in this class, because they have what we would call internal deadlines. So like this right here, it says all this stuff is due Sunday, January 20th at 11:59, but be careful if it's a discussion. There's more than one. You post multiple things, and they need to happen in a certain order, which is why there are internal deadlines. So you can, if you forget what those internal deadlines are, or you want to check on it, you can actually click right here, and it'll show you for each discussion. You've got an initial post, and then you have follow-up posts, and it tells you when each are due. Okay, so just watch out for that. But for the most part, assignments are due at the end of the module. So like any assignments like selecting your hot topic in education, that's due at the end of the module. Your field experience selection and approval, we need to get that done by the end of the module. But you can have the full 2 weeks to do that. You don't have to post the first thing by the first Thursday. Just get it up there by that last Sunday, January 20th, and then I will write my approval or disapproval the next day or two, that Monday or Tuesday following, and that's fine. But we need to get there's certain things we need to get rolling on. Okay, so check out the course plan. This is a very important document. It's also worthy of being printed. You go to the same place, more options, and then you hit the print button. It puts it in a printer-friendly format for you to print. Okay, this document is my favorite of the whole class. Like in terms of just when students have questions, it's often has to do, the answers are often to be found right here. Because this is the thing that keeps everybody, or at least me, on track. Go ahead and check out the About D2L course in. I try not to provide a whole lot of tutorials or anything like that, because look up here where it says UWG Online. That's where I got this information from. But you really need to make sure that your computer works so you can take this class online. If it doesn't, you need to contact UWG Online folks for help troubleshooting what's wrong with your computer. I'm not your technical support on D2L or your technical problems. I mean, you might tell me, oh, I'm having a technical problem. I can't open your video. There's something wrong with your video. And you might tell me that, and I might say, well, maybe, and I might go check my video, and then I might say, no, I think the technical problem is on your end. You need to contact technical support. So I'm not technical support. I can chat about it a little bit, but my abilities are very limited, quite honestly. Mostly, well, very much limited by my lack of time. Also, I don't have time built in for tech support, and I'm not supposed to do it anyway. All right, so. Anyway, check all that out. Read it. If you give me your contact information here, I will put you into my smartphone as a contact so that when you text message me or you call me on my phone, I'll know you called and I'm more likely to return your call. So it sort of strengthens our bond. It, allows us to be in better contact if you want to do that. I won't usually contact you out of the blue. Even a lot of students put in their information and they never text me or call me, and I don't generally call you unless I find a problem and I need to get a hold of you quickly. So there's always 3 students every semester that happens with, where it's like, okay, I need to get one piece of information from this student before some deadline or some problem. It often happens at the end of the semester too. So it's really handy if you put your information in there for me. I will not share your information with anybody else, and I will purge all of the contact information in May or April, late April or early May. Ongoing discussion, course questions and answers board. This is an ungraded board. It says ask the instructor a general question, but you can ask the question to the whole class, and anybody is welcome to answer. And I need to put that information in here. This is an example of how I'm not 100% ready with the class starting on Monday, January 7th. There are little things like this, little imperfections, and I'm a perfectionist when I make a course, and so it bugs me. But this is anybody can ask anybody a question, so and anybody can answer it, or at least give it a try. Just go for it. If you think you know the answer, post it, and I usually monitor it, and I'll get to it eventually and sort of clarify. Not by eventually, I mean hopefully within 2 days, 1 to 2 days. That's what I say I'll do. Okay, so section 3, major course projects and discussions. You should take a look at these major course projects. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 major projects. These projects are multi-part, like the field experience project. That involves you actually going into the field, observing children in a particular context that is not completely familiar to you. You have to have a supervisor kind of keep track that you were indeed there for 10 hours. And that's one part of it. You go do these field observations and you get this log sheet, this time sheet filled out. This is a very important assignment, you guys. This is the one that if you don't do it, if you don't complete it, and if you don't turn it in a timely fashion, you'll get an F in the class. And that is, even I, with a soft heart, and I like to help students out a lot. This is a requirement that is above me. I will get in deep stuff if I let go of this requirement. I cannot do that. I do not have that power. So this is an assignment where your utmost attention is required. You cannot behave the way I would sometimes behave as an early undergrad. I just wasn't always together with things, and I'd come in to professors with sad stories, and I know all about that. But with this assignment, you've got to, mind your P's and Q's. So it's a multi-part project. Hot topics in education is not so much multi-part, but it is a little bit in this first module, what you want to do. Okay, let me back up. They're all multi-part, okay? But you want to read through all of them, just kind of to see what you have to do. You can look at the course plan to see where the due dates for the projects are. So let's undock the course plan and take a better look at it. You can see that part of the hot topic is due at the end of this module. Really, all that's due is you pick your topic. You don't do anything else but pick a topic. The first philosophy paper is due at the end of Module 1. That's 5 weeks from the beginning of the semester. So it seems kind of scary to be due that fast, but notice this is a 3-week session. The first module is a 2-week session. So it's due in about 5 weeks from the beginning of the semester. Then your diverse learners project is due at the end of Module 2. That's a 4-week session. So that's weeks and weeks away. That's like the midpoint of the semester. And then your second philosophy paper is due at the end of Module 3, and your actual education hot topics GLOG is actually due at that time as well. And then the field experience work is due at the very end of the course. Okay? Again, and that's a 1-week session, so keep that in mind. That end comes quickly. So what I want you to do for now is just check out those assignments, read through them once. In particular, read about the field experience project. Read that one in depth, try to understand that, and ask your questions early and often on that one, okay? There's going to be a lot of questions because I went in there, I put in the information that Dr. Stonier had in his class because he's helped me put this class together this semester because he's taught it before, and he's sort of my mentor for this class. So I've put his instructions in here, and I've put the documentation you need, and I've put in his video where he talks to his students, okay? And I've put in the requirements for the final paper. There's various pieces to it. Read through this stuff and let me know what questions you have, because you will probably have questions, but if you don't read it, you're not going to generate those questions, and you don't want to wait till November 28th to start thinking about your field experience project, because again, this is the one that you must pass to pass the class. And it's an all or nothing thing, you guys. If you do 8 of your hours out of the 10, that's not completing it. That's like a 0. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the way it works with this particular thing. You can't do 8. You can't get an 80 on it. You've got to get it all done. Okay, so read through that one in depth. Read through the Hot Topics in Education project. Maybe less in depth, because you may be on information overload from this and other classes. These assignments are not due yet, but you do need to sign up for your Hot Topic this module, so you do want to think about that. It's a first come, first serve thing. All right, let me close that. Let me close number 2. Let's look at item number 4. Okay, so in this module, what are we doing? These are orientation module to-dos. And again, all of this stuff I'm telling you, I'm kind of yammering through this video, talking. It's all in the orientation module welcome and checklist. All of that it's all written so that you feel like all my yammer is just sort of disappearing into the ether, I'm sure. But it's all written down there, okay? So you want to consult that. But I'm just trying to talk people through just to give them an audio-visual alternative, I guess. I'm the audio-visual checklist here. Okay, so check out the instructions for the first discussion. I'm going to undock it so we can see it better. All right. For your first discussion of the class, we're going to do a multimedia introduction. You can use VoiceThread, Voki, YouTube, or any other thing that you like to do where you create an audio or an audio-visual presentation where you tell us about yourself, like where you're from, what are your interests, why are you taking this class, what are your career plans, why do you think you want to become a teacher? That's a good question for you to talk to us about. And so it's a multimedia thing so that we can maybe make it a little more personable in the beginning of the semester. And something I snuck in here because I don't know. I'm just kind of curious how it works. Where there's an audio feature inside D2L. You could even use that because this is new to this new learning management system, and I'm totally okay with you guys trying out that new feature, even though it makes your voice sound very bizarre. But you're welcome to use that audio feature if you don't want to do these. But we're just going to make it a little multimedia. So you share that presentation, and then you respond to at least 5 peers. And do try to listen to everybody's. I'm going to listen to everybody's presentations, and I urge all of you to do the same. Certainly, sometimes when I'm in an online class and the professor says, listen to everybody's online presentation, you can't just sit there and do that in one sitting. So you might say, I'll take the first month of class to do that. And just kind of, and as I kind of interact with different people, I'll go listen to their their presentation and kind of jog my memory on who they are and what they're like and that kind of thing. So I do urge you to listen to everybody's, kind of get to know people, see where they're coming from. But you definitely have to listen to 5 and respond to them in that board. And if you're wondering, when do I do that? You can always go to the course plan. You remember the course plan? It has all those deadlines on it. And if you can't remember, what are those internal discussion deadlines? You can click on the course plan, internal discussion deadlines, and you see for the introduction discussion, you want to get the first post up by January 17th and all your response follow-up posts by January 20th. All right. See how distractible online classes are. You just kind of click around and you get lost. All right, so discussion, introduction of self. So these were the instructions for the introduction of self, and this is the actual discussion board for introduction of self, and you just hit compose and you go for it. If you don't know how to compose a D2L message, you need to go back up to section 2, go to about D2L coursed in, and look at the UWG online help and look at the coursed in D2L tab. So let's look at that very quickly. There it is, the coursed in D2L tab. You can check out, where is it? Discussions. And here we have the discussions tool. We have all the steps, and then we have it looks like we have a YouTube video down at the bottom that even shows you how to do it, okay? So make sure that you are using your resources to use the D2L tools, because I'm not going to teach you how to do this stuff. All right, instructions, your D2L profile. Well, I'm lying. I do teach you how to do your D2L profile if you need help. Here are the instructions for doing that. You want to make sure you get that done. That's part of your introduction points. It's part of your sort of intro discussion points. Some of them are part of this D2L profile is going to count for those. And I need to finish this up in the next 2 minutes. I refuse to go over 20 minutes. There's a tutorial here for you to watch if you want. Be sure when you're watching my tutorials, though, let me tell you one thing. I'm going to undock this. When you watch a tutorial in YouTube on the computer, see how blurry that is and small? You can do this, change the quality, go up to 720 HD, and then you can watch it in full screen. And it may be that you if you watch it out of a wiki page, you have to actually sometimes you have to copy the URL and you have to paste it and actually watch it on YouTube to get it to do full screen. For some reason, the wiki won't do the full screen lately. In this video, it's got that option. All right. I sort of redundant, and I put the instructions for the field experience here as well. They're also in the major course projects. But basically in this module, what you have to do is figure out where you're going to read all the field placement instructions in detail. Make sure you ask me lots of questions about it if you have any. And you're going to choose the place where you're going to do your field experience. And ideally, you're going to contact the person that will be your supervisor. Try to get all that arranged in the next 2 weeks. And then you're going to tell me in this discussion board what and where you're going to be doing your observation. Okay, and then I will approve it the next day or 2 after that. For the instructions for hot topics in education, read the instructions, and then sign up for the topic you want you do that by hitting edit, and then you go to the part of the, like, say you want to do e-readers, you can write your first name and your last initial. You don't have to write your full name, okay? So you don't have to expose yourself because this is a public wiki page. And then when you're done, okay, so you write your name, for example, and then you hit save. And then there it is. Do not delete other people's names. I have access to the history, and it's clear who goes where, and I'll be able to figure out who's sabotaging whom, and nobody's going to do that because you guys are teachers, future teachers, and you know how to behave. All right, so this is the first module. Welcome. I have talked way too long for my own comfort. Generally, I don't ever go this far, but I really wanted to give you an in-depth kind of tour of what you wanted to be doing in this module. One more thing. I promise not to talk very much longer, but if you look back at the course plan, then if you finish this module in a very timely fashion, let's say you finish it in 8 days, I suggest you begin your reading. And then you can start doing your discussion posts for the chapter readings, and you can start working on that first philosophy paper, because it's kind of difficult to generate a philosophy of education at the last minute. So get your reading done, get these things going quickly so that you can really be thinking what you think that your philosophy of education is. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Contact me via email, or if there are general questions others would benefit from. Remember, you've got the course questions and answers board. You can go straight to the discussion board here if you want, to the Ask the Instructor General Question board. Compose, put it in there. And again, anybody can answer that question. I'm going to change that verbiage in just a minute. Anybody can answer the question, okay? I want people to hop in there and just give it a go. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.